She's stroganoff till I beef, you know?
Oh, look, it's not pink anymore.
Oh my god, I bet this is Rena. Could you imagine if the entirety of Higurashi had color-coded text?
That'd be pretty interesting. What?
I can tell you how Shion and Mion would alternate.
How?
The dots on their eyes would be different colors.
Interesting.
Something very subtle where it's like hard to tell.
Interesting.
It would be like their text would be green, and then the dots on their eyes would be like teal. Like teal for Shion. Or like, if you want to be really funny, it could be the color of... It could be white for Mion and like yellow for Shion. Because of the hair braids. Or sorry, vice versa. Because Mion wears the yellow. Shion wears the white.
Interesting.
She beef on my stroganoff.
Brr.
I don't want to share.
He doesn't want to share.
I don't want to see any sweets for at least 3 days. I'm not even tapped in.
Whose fault is that?
I'm gonna kill you. Ugh.
You tried a little too hard, Keiji-kun.
Rena ate a massive amount of dessert too, but her stomach seemed to just be fine. I think girls have 4 stomachs. Like a cow. Or at least an extra stomach for dessert.
It's very rude of you to say something like that to a lady. This is what you get for being rude.
Bam. Ow. Sadako had poked me very hard in my bloated stomach. Inflation fetish for Yukishi. Ah! Stop it! Please don't poke my stomach. I'm going to throw up.
Yeah. Yeah.
I offer you friendship. I feel the like, because you have to be like up here when I have it higher, so I offer you lowered friendship. Sadako and Rika-chan grinned mischievously upon hearing that. A chill ran up my spine. Why were they smiling like that and walking towards me so gleefully? No, stop it, you cold-blooded demons!
No, this is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. Do you really think I'd let it slip away?
Meep star.
Your bloated tummy is in danger, Keiji. Your big wiggly tummy is so cute.
Stop it! Ah, no! I'm sorry, I forgot to do this before we started. God, that's so nice. Stop it! Ah, no! I'm not tapped in. Fucking... Rena joined Sadako and Rika-chan in torturing me while we were still making a lot of noise outside the restaurant. I desperately blocked my stomach from their attacks, but someone else hit me from behind. Ow! Who is it?
Well.
Oh my god, it's Shion!
Oh shit.
Oh shit!
There she is.
Kei-chan, hello. Nice to see you. Kei-chan and his funny friends.
Oh, Shi-chan. Hello. You weren't at the restaurant today, were you?
I'm working night shift today. I just changed after getting here. How can you go outside the restaurant wearing that uniform? What? I'm not embarrassed. Especially not since you had to walk around in a way more embarrassing costume the other day. Damn it, I was just getting over it. She had just reminded me that I'll never be able to get married. He keeps bringing this up, man. Anyway, I heard you went crazy in the restaurant today.
We did. We had to since it turned into a club activity, you know.
You made a big mess in there. It looks like Sis felt guilty, so she's helping the waitresses clean up the store now.
Yeah, I still think we should help them clean.
Oh, don't worry about it. We can't let customers do that.
Plus, me made most of the mess.
Lamau. Yeah, that's right. Everybody nodded in agreement. She told me to tell you guys that you don't have to wait for her. You can go home now.
No, we're gonna wait. Right, everybody?
Rena asked for our agreement. Of course, we decided to wait without hesitation. Sadako, Rika-chan, and I all nodded along.
Since we...
Yeah. No, that's a Rena line.
Since we can't help her clean, that's
Yeah.
the least we can do. While she says we can go home, I'm pretty sure she'd be sad if we really did leave.
Whoa. Oh, god damn it. God damn it. Son of a bitch. Keiichi's mature in this game. This sucks.
Idiot. Dumbass.
I like how they have to remind you that Shion has fat fucking honkers in this game. Because they mentioned it twice now. They didn't mention it twice. I mentioned it the second time. Since we can't help her clean, the least we can do... that's the least we can do. Well, she says we can go home. I'm pretty sure she'd be sad if we really did leave. Wow, Kei-chan, you grew up. I'm impressed.
He grew up all right. That's because we've been training him well, right?
That's correct.
Nipa.
Star. You girls always band together when it comes to things like this. I hate girls. They get along so easily just because they're girls. Have you seen the, you're gay because you're homosexual versus I'm gay because I hate women? We are not the same.
I've not seen that.
That's Keiichi, man. In the end, we ended up making a lot more noise, even dragging Shion into the mess this time. Is Shion late for work, Lamau? Shion, get back in here and help us clean. Where did you put the washcloths? Oh no, I guess I have to go back to work now.
Me-chan, do you think it's gonna take a while?
What? Why are you still here? Are you waiting for this, old man? Don't worry about me. Go on home already. Mion looked happy to see us waiting for her, but she always says the opposite of what she thinks. I wonder when she'll grow up to be able to just honestly say thank you. We're friends, remember? We'll wait for you until you finish up.
I wish we could help you. I feel bad.
I told you, you don't have to wait for me. I'm going to wait for Shion to finish work tonight, then head to her house in Okinomiya afterwards. So you really don't need to wait for me. I do appreciate it, though. Now you sure? I still feel bad. Keiichi?
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah, no, that's Rena. It repeats.
Yeah, me too. Me too.
We have enough people, so really don't worry about it. Go home before it gets too cold.
We understand. I hope you can finish cleaning soon. Go for it. Yay.
Woo! Thanks. Kei-chan, I trust you to escort the ladies home safely. Please protect them from assassins on their way home. Looking around, I didn't see any ladies who needed an escort. I felt more like I was the one who needed protection. Anyway, we said our goodbyes, making it easier for us to end the day and go home. Man. I like how whenever I do this, it automatically does this face.
Still thinking about.
No, I'm upset.
He's upset.
I'm upset because this feels like a really nice, like, good end. Last chapter of the game. Like, man, Shion's in the game. There's, like, gonna be no murder this year. Like, Shion's kind of friends with everyone. Like,
What could go wrong?
this feels like such a good end. Like, I feel like the game could end here, and I'd be like, damn, that's really satisfying and nice. And we're on chapter 3 of 15. We're a fifth of the way through the story for this game. And I know it's all about to go so terribly wrong. I'm just upset, man.
Goodbye, Me-chan. See you tomorrow.
Yep. See you tomorrow. Alright, let's go then. We waved at Mion until she went back inside the restaurant, and after that, we all got on our bicycles and left Okinomiya. Like, we literally almost had everyone cameo in this episode.
Really?
Or, like, the last episode in this one. Except for, like, fucking Tomatake and, like, Takano.
Mm-hmm.
I hate the new girl. I hate Fluttershy.
Not Rena.
I'm calling her Fluttershy.
Color Fluttershy.
I'm calling her Fluttershy.
I hate you.
I hate her. I hope she gets taken out of the game. By me.
How about I just cut you and just like take all of your I've got enough voice clips of you to just make an AI voice
That reads the game.
that just reads the game. So anytime you say Fluttershy, I just can cut it out now and have you say Rena. I can have you like pronounce words correctly and not add an S to always anyway. And
It sounds better with an S. It sounds better with an S.
anyways isn't a word.
Anyways, sounds better.
It's not a word.
On the way home, we talked about how exciting it had been today, and it looked like everyone was still fired up. We had the horrifying punishment in the competitive eating contest, which turned into an unprecedented battle involving all the customers in the restaurant, and after that, everything got crazy and messy. At first, the waitresses didn't know what to do, but after a while they ended up joining in. We had a blast. What? That was wonderful. Did you see what Tomita and Okamura did? How amusing it was.
I felt sorry for Kamada and Irie.
So did I, but didn't you think my speech was great? Everyone in the restaurant was on my side after that.
Keiichi, you might have been somebody really important. You might have been You might have been somebody really important if you were born in a different era.
Rolled. What, this idiot? He's too full of himself. An idiot will always remain an idiot, no matter when or where he's born.
If he was born 100 years earlier, he might have gotten printed on bills.
Based. Yeah, money with Keiichi-san's face on it? How pathetic. It would only be worth 200 or 300 yen at most. Sadako and Rika-chan kept up their continuous chatter. I was a bit tired after the day's events, so I just listened quietly. I noticed the wind was getting colder. No! Our shadows were getting longer as well. No! Sadako and Rika-chan still had a lot of energy left. But what about Rena? She'd been very quiet. Maybe she also had a stomachache from eating too much. I looked at Rena to see. However, I was wrong. Rena was... I didn't really know how to describe it. She looked very satisfied. She looked like she really did have that much fun. She looked like she was as happy as she ever could be. I could tell all that without hearing her say a word. When I looked at her, it made me realize that the word fun wasn't enough to describe what we did today. Seems like you had a lot of fun.
What about you, Keiichi-kun?
I had a blast too. I wish we could have as much fun tomorrow, and the day after tomorrow too.
I feel the same way. I wish from the bottom of my heart that the time we spent at the restaurant today would last forever.
Wow, that's kind of poetic.
Don't you agree, Keiichi-kun?
Rena didn't notice that I made fun of her. Keiichi's such an asshole. I might have been a little tactless. Suddenly, I regretted having said it. I do. I totally agree with you.
But you know something? Today's not the only day that's filled with happiness.
A cool wind blew through her hair. She smiled at me, and for some reason, she looked very mature. Her appearance made my heart skip a beat.
Oh.
Keiichi, admirer of Rena, confirmed.
Every single one of our days in Hinamizawa is a wonderful, precious, and irreplaceable day full of happiness, including the boring days when our club activities get canceled.
Rena, you think about things in a very mature way.
No, I don't. Honestly, I'm still not done playing around just yet. Maybe it's just because I'm still excited.
Rena laughed, and that made me laugh too. Sadako thought that we were laughing because we said bad things about her and started bugging me about it. Once again, we made a lot of noise like we always do.
Well, Sadako and I are taking this turn here.
Yeah, Rika, why not walk with them a little further and turn where the tobacco store is instead?
Did you forget our nightlight burned out? Without it, it's too dark for us to sleep.
No, that would be quite the problem.
Oh, I see. You need to go to Makino-san's general store. Then I guess we'll say goodbye here. You better take this turn or you have to go a long way around.
Who the fuck is Makino?
The tour guide.
Thank you. Yep. Got you. Thank you. And new girl? What's her last name?
Rena?
Yeah.
Rena Mamiya?
Mamiya. Oh, look at Mamiya, huh? Thank you.
How long is this gonna keep happening?
What? Italian? I want an Italian fucking character. Are we gonna get Makino in the game? Does this motherfucker get a Sprite?
No.
Does Kimiyoshi get a Sprite?
No.
God damn it. But he's in the game so much. Referenced, at least. Makino-san's general store. Oh, right. That's where it is. If they wanted to make a stop at the store before going back to the shrine, turning here would be the quickest way. Okay then. Bye, Rika-chan. Bye, Sadako. I'll see you tomorrow. See you tomorrow? Oh, no, that was Rina.
See you tomorrow.
Farewell, Keiichi-san. Farewell, Rena-san.
See you two tomorrow. Bye-bye.
Rika-chan and Sadako waved at us many times, then took the narrow path through the field. Once the noisy girls were gone, it went especially quiet all of a sudden. It even made me feel as if the sun had set in an instant. I could see my house by now, which everybody called the Mayabara Mansion. They keep bringing that fucking up, man. Mm-hmm. When is it going to become relevant? I didn't notice it earlier because of how fired up we all were, but my stomach was about to burst. The growling in my gut felt like thunder. My body must have been paying the price for me acting like an idiot earlier. There was no way I was eating dinner that night. I need to tell Mom before she started cooking. But before anything, I had to get to the bathroom. Ugh. My stomach was churning. Oh boy, it really didn't sound good. He's gonna shit himself in front of the girl. We got to the place where I'd always met Rena in the morning and say goodbye in the evening. I really did have a lot of fun today.
Me too. Are you feeling okay, Keiichi-kun?
My stomach is growling. I guess I just need to get some rest.
You need to train your stomach, huh? Huh?
You ate about as much as I did. How did you fit all that inside your tiny body?
That would be a woman's secret.
What do you mean by that? Rena giggled and tried to avoid giving me an answer. She'd probably hit me if I pressed her about it. If she punched me in the stomach, I'd throw up for sure. So I decided not to go any further. Goodbye, Rena. See you tomorrow.
Yeah, see you tomorrow.
You know, I used to live in the city.
Yeah?
I never managed to enjoy each and every day like this before. But after moving to Hinamizawa, you know, I think I've found happiness.
I feel the same way. I moved to Hinamizawa a year ago. I can't believe I'm as happy as I am and spend every day having as much fun as I do.
I see. I'm sure tomorrow will be the same.
That's right. We had so much fun yesterday and today. So tomorrow will be the same.
With all the fun we have every day, I sometimes feel like I'm gonna trip and fall sometimes. It kinda scares me.
You fall when you fall, no matter how careful you are. That's why I believe we have to enjoy every moment as much as we can.
You're right. We gotta enjoy every day as much as we can.
Well, it's probably time to go. Please say hi to your parents for me. Well, I still have a lot of energy left. How? I'm gonna go treasure hunting.
What are you going there? Or what? Are you going there now? You sure are resilient. I'm impressed.
What about you? Would you like to come along? I found a new trash pile I haven't dug up yet. I might something find totally cute in there.
I'm sorry, but I gotta pass. Besides, it looks like a storm's brewing. I think you should go straight home, too.
Oh, I usually find something cute when I've had a wonderful day like today, so I'm just gonna go there for a few minutes. Star.
I felt sick enough that I didn't feel like going with her. If I felt better, I would have gone treasure hunting with her for sure. She didn't want to go home yet because she didn't want the fun day to end. That's exactly how I felt too. I understand. Bye then. I hope you can find something cute.
Yep, thank you. Bye-bye.
And then we switch to Rena POV.
Yes.
Oh, I unplugged myself.
He can't hear. He's deaf.
I'm deaf.
Keiichi-kun waved over and over as if he didn't want to say goodbye yet.
I made like brief contact, so I heard like a 0.5 second of like the Higurashi, and then it went away again.
But after a while, he was gone. Well, I had to go too, because I was gonna go treasure hunting. I love cute things. I had such a wonderful day today that I'm sure I'm gonna get lucky with treasure hunting. I definitely will find some wonderful treasures. I pedaled my bicycle with determination. My house was nearby. I took another street that led to the damn construction site. It might have been okay to go home just then, but I hesitated to go since I didn't want to be seen. I had so much fun today, I wanted to continue feeling happy as long as I could. It was already getting late, but I felt like it was getting dark faster than usual. Just like Keiichi-kun said, the clouds in the sky were growing darker. It might start raining hard. But that doesn't mean I have to go home already. Stop it, Rena. You've had so much fun today. You have to stay happy as long as you can. I'm happy. I enjoy every day. Rena, say it. Say the magical words. Oh. Don't be embarrassed. You're not dumb or anything. I might be able to enjoy every day even more if I were dumb. If so, dumb is what I want to be. Oh, Star. I'm gonna find something so cute and take it home with me. There, I said it. I'm sure I can find something cute. As long as I believe it's cute, anything can be that way. I should fill my heart with happy memories of today and yesterday. I should look forward to the happiness I'm going to receive tomorrow and the day after tomorrow, too.
Oh, so the saddest character in the game is Rena. I understand. You know the saddest people shit the loudest meme?
No, I don't. This meme.
He's not on iFunny like I am, man. He's not.
Saddest people shit the loudest.
You've never seen that?
No.
Alright, I'll pull it up when we get to like an intermission or something. It's a picture of, like, it's like a picture of like Shinji on the toilet. Like they photoshopped him like really shittily on the toilet, and it says in like Comic Sans, the saddest people shit the loudest.
I reached the damn construction site. A mountain of trash loomed before me. I parked my bicycle and walked down the mountain of trash and scrap. This place is my castle. It would be incredible if anyone else came to this mountain of trash. I've come here many times and I usually stay for a long while, but I've never seen anybody walk by. This place is the village's blind spot. I heard that many people came here all the time during the dam wars, but it was abandoned after that. The villagers no longer need to come here, and some people even forget about it entirely. It seems like they dump trash here at midnight, but I've never seen a truck actually dumping trash, at least. If they dump new trash more often, it'd give me more time to kill, but it looks like it's not gonna happen for a while. I walked down the slope of the trash pile, all the way down to the bottom and headed behind another pile. Nobody ever comes here. I've come here many times, and I usually stay for a long while, but nobody has ever come to mess up this place. Not even the other kids from my school come here. They all believe that the manager of the construction site is buried somewhere in the trash piles, and they also believe the whole place is haunted. They told me that ghost with one arm still wanders around here looking for his missing limb. Sadly, I haven't seen a ghost either. I'm not scared. In fact, I'd rather like to meet him. I wouldn't mind helping him find his arm. If he's feeling lonely, I'd want him to be my conversation partner.
Based, Rena.
There's a station wagon buried in the trash pile. It doesn't have tires, but other than that, it still looks like a station wagon. This station wagon is my secret hideout. Unfortunately, the side door and rear doors don't open, so whenever I want to get in, I have to enter the car through the passenger seat and crowd into the back from there. Of course, I take off my shoes at the passenger seat. When you look at it from the outside, it's just a dirty abandoned car. But on the inside, it's nice and clean because I had swept it out and decorated a little. That took me a long time. The back seats were lying flat because I wanted to have as much space as possible. I found a mattress in the trash pile, put it into that space instead. It was a bit dirty, so I brought a bed sheet from home and covered the mattress with it. Put my favorite cushions on top, and with that, it turned into a perfect bed. I put cushions and stuffed animals everywhere. That's not all. Look at this. I have a bunch of sweets here too. I have a bag of fruit candy in 4 different colors and some cookies. But they're going bad. I'll have to throw them away.
Rena is feral. She's also homeless.
My bear-shaped water bottle is empty. When I come here to spend some time on Sundays, I usually bring this water bottle with some sweetened tea in it. I have a box of tissues, a flashlight, extra batteries, and other daily necessities in here. I also have a few books to read in order to kill some time while I'm at it. And I have this. What do you think this is? Look, ta-da! My hat is suddenly lit up thanks to the table lamp. There's an electrical outlet on the side of an old nearby construction office. I thought they'd have cut the power years ago, but to my surprise, I was wrong. Electricity is still being supplied to the outlet. When I found tons of extension cords, I came up with the idea to connect them all and make electricity come all the way to my hideout. Now I can spend time here comfy with some sweets, books, and lights. If I wanted to, I might even be able to spend the night here, but I may catch a cold since it gets very cold at night. See? This is a very nice hideout, isn't it? At first, I thought somebody would find it and mess with it, but that hasn't happened so far. That's because nobody comes here, and everybody forgets about this place. That's how this place has become my perfect secret hideout. Fortunately, I ate so much today that I'm still full. I can tell them that I was playing with a friend at our house and ate dinner there. I'm gonna stay here for a while and relax. I'm gonna treat myself. And I'm gonna treat myself. I loved the water gun battle yesterday. My heart had been pounding when I fought one-on-one with Keiji-kun. I also had great fun in Age of Mort today. I'd never experienced such a crazy game with so many people in my life. I was still feeling the after effects, and I was sure I'd have a dream about it tonight. That was why I wanted to bask in these happy feelings. That was why I was going to treat myself in here. I should take off my shoes and stretch my toes. I should cherish the time when I can be myself. Once I took off my shoes, I felt so relaxed I didn't want to put them on again. I played all day today and I was very tired. The treasure hut can wait. As it got darker, the light of the table lamp became... encouraging. It really was getting darker faster than usual. All of a sudden, I heard the sound of raindrops in the roof of the car. Pitter-patter, pitter-patter, pitter-patter. The interval between the drops got shorter and shorter. When it became a continuous sound, I began to hear thunder. Though it was raining heavily, it remained very silent inside the car, making me feel like I was in a different world. It's my castle, after all. I felt a bit cold, so I unbundled the big blanket and hid under it. I'm here alone, under one blanket that has my scent. Even though nobody knew where I was at the moment, I feel like I was left alone in the heavy rain. I still feel secure and free from anxiety for some reason. I felt like this heavy rain was keeping my enemies away from my castle, and I liked it that way. This place is full of small happiness. It's full of my favorite things. That's why I'm happy whenever I'm here. When I put another blanket over me, I feel as warm as if I were in bed. I listen to the soothing sounds of raindrops hitting the scrap iron in the trash heaps, and it made me feel sleepy. This is a castle of trash. The trash came here because nobody wanted it. This is where it lives. This is a country where unwanted refuse lives together. I felt like I fit in here, but at the same time, I knew it was just a temporary place for me. I said somewhere I had to go back to. No, I shouldn't think about things like that. Whenever I realize I don't belong here, I remember I'm in the middle of a very dirty pile of trash. I should just doze for a little bit longer, thinking it's poisonous. I wanted to keep myself out of that poison so that the kind Rena within me could stay pure. A little bit longer, just a little bit longer, and I closed my eyes.
I assume pink text is Rena and not Rena. That's my headcanon.
It's his headcanon.
Yeah.
My mother was a very busy woman. The harder she worked, the more her work was valued, and she kept getting promoted. She sought to go higher and higher. She was always shining, and she was my hero. My mother started her career as a fashion designer at a small clothing factory in Okinomiya. My father was a designer too. They met through their jobs and soon got married. They lived in a small apartment in Okinomiya, but they moved to my grandma's house, our current house in Hinamizawa, where she got pregnant with me. We lived there until right before I went to elementary school. Now I think about it, that was the happiest time of my life. I felt happy every day, believed without a doubt that tomorrow would be the same. I was so happy that I took it for granted and didn't even feel the happiness. I really did feel happy every day. I was small at the time and didn't really understand what was going on, but it seemed like the company my parents were working at was having financial difficulties. So my mother and a few other young designers started talking about leaving the company, going independent. After many things happened and the situation grew complicated, they got an offer to work at a big design firm in Ibaraki, and they took the offer. And at that time, I heard my mother saying many difficult words like limited partnership and business alliance. But in short, what she wanted to do was move to Ibaraki. My mother and her peers were hired because their talent and experience made them immediate assets to the new company. However, my father wasn't one of them. Unfortunately, my father wasn't as talented as my mother was, so moving to Ibaraki meant that my father had to give up being a fashion designer. My mother's new company had high expectations of her talent and promised her a responsible project. She didn't want to waste her growing talent and passion by living in a rural town like Kinamizawa, so my mother convinced my father to quit his job and move to Ibaraki to support her and help her career. Back then, moving meant that I had to say goodbye to my close friends. I didn't want to move, and I kept crying about it. After we moved to Ibaraki, my mother was a big success. Not only did she have great leadership skills, she was full of energy, and I believe she made the best of use of her talents to succeed. She came home late every night and barely had any days off. When she had a big project, she would often stay the entire nights at her office. But when she came home, she always looked fulfilled and wore a happy smile that she'd never worn when she was in Hinamizawa. She was shining, and I remember always wanting to be shining like her when I grew up. On the other hand, my father wasn't doing so well. He couldn't find a job as a fashion designer, so he took a clerical job at a small company, but he kept changing positions. He couldn't use the experience that he had cultivated, and it was very hard for him, but he was very understanding. He started to take care of things around the house for my mother, who got busier and busier, having one project after another. He cleaned the house, did the laundry, and came to my school events. However, he couldn't cook. He did cook rice, but always bought side dishes from the grocery store. We ate dinner without my mother more and more often. I don't think I wrote
I was
this
gonna
one.
say, do you want to be Rena's dad or do you want me to be Rena's dad?
You can be Rena's dad, yeah.
I'm Rena's dad.
You're Rena's dad.
Rena's dad. Well, howdy there, partner. It's Rena's dad. Gotta canonicalize the southern there somehow. I guess she's busy again. Oh, fuck.
I guess she's busy again. Every time I said that, he always told me,
Well, you know your mother's working very hard, so let's support her, Rena.
that was what he always told me. I decided to help my father with the cooking. I thought it'd be a good idea to learn how to cook since he wasn't very good at it. Whenever my mother cooked, I helped her and tried to learn how to cook from her. She apologized for not having enough time to cook for us, but she was happy that I was learning. I think I wrote in my school yearbook that I wanted to be a clothing designer in my future, just like my mother. But apparently I lacked my mother's exceptional sense of style, so she used to tell me, taste is something that you're born with, not something that you cultivate. I remember I was discouraged to be a designer because of that. That was why I decided to reach her by getting better at things she wasn't good at, instead of trying to be like her. I wanted to be good at not only cooking, but also at doing things around the house, such as cleaning, doing the laundry, and grocery shopping. I remember my father was really happy that I did all that for him, because he wasn't good at it at all. He couldn't find a job and spent a lot of time at home. So he seemed to enjoy spending time doing the housework with his daughter more than anything. I started to become better and better at filling in for my mother, and she started to get too busy to do any of the housework at all, and she moved on to a more responsible position at her job. She took me out to many places as if to compensate for leaving me alone all the time. She used to say, "Let's go eat something delicious without telling your father," and took me out to a restaurant. She took me to a high-class restaurant and amusement parks. Sometimes it was only me and my mother. Sometimes it was with her friends from work. She took me to a beach barbecue with one summer with those friends. I was introduced as her daughter, and every one of them pampered me. I still remember there was one guy who particularly doted on me. He was a good-looking young man. I called him Uncle once, and he got mad at me. He was nicely tanned with dyed brown hair. This young man often came with us when we went out. When my mother took me somewhere, she usually made several phone calls from her work during the day. And sometimes she took me out to a place where she could also do her work at the same time. So I didn't feel awkward when the people from her work came with us.
You know, her mom might not be the pink-haired cocksucker I thought she was, but she is the cheater that I called her on.
But I always preferred to be alone with her, so I was happy when we could do that. One day, she took me to a very high-end part of town. Of course, she always spoiled me whenever we went out. She bought me things and let me eat whatever I wanted, but she especially spoiled me on that day. She took me to many expensive-looking boutiques and accessory stores. She was about to buy me something, but I told her not to get it because it didn't look good on me. Without hesitation, she bought it anyway. I remember there were many zeros on that price tag. On that day, I realized my mother's design work had made her a very successful woman, and she was earning a lot of money. We took a break at a ridiculously expensive-looking restaurant that probably charged 1,000 yen for a glass of lunch juice. My mother clapped her hands and spoke to me with a smile on her face. She asked, "Rena, would you like to make your dream come true?" When I was in kindergarten, my teacher gave students a topic to draw a picture of. The topic was my dream, and I drew myself eating a mountain of fruit parfait all by myself. What my mother meant to say was that she was going to make that dream come true for me. It was a normal day. It wasn't my birthday or anything. But since my mother always spoiled me when we went out together, I didn't feel awkward about it at all and accepted her offer with a happy smile. There were five... Rat bastard.
It's hard. I'm invested, man. I'm like so zoned in.
There were 5 or 6 fruit parfaits in front of me. I remember looking at it. Looked exactly like the world I drew, and I felt like I was floating in that dream world. It was too much for us to finish, but we dug our spoons into it as if we were playing in the mud, and we really enjoyed eating it together. It was my first time to experience getting full by eating only fruit parfaits, and I remember I was very happy. I enjoyed tasting the happiness and chatting with my mother. Rena-chan, do you remember the man who went to the movie and had dinner with us last time? Are you talking about Uncle Akihito? Oh, though I can't call him that or he's gonna hit me. Rina-chan, do you like Akihito-san?
Akihito is a new name?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I hate him. He always teases me. That's because he likes you. You get along with him because you got along well with him at the barbecue. Well, I get along with him every now and then. Every now and then. My mother laughed. I don't know why she brought up the subject, but I didn't really pay attention to it because I was too young. Now I think about it, she was breaking the news. I just didn't notice it. Rena-chan, who do you like better, your father or me? You. It wasn't that I hated my father or anything, but I thought giving her that answer was appropriate after she spoiled me so much. If I said I was going to live in another house away from your father, which of us would you like to live with? Huh? I'm thinking about divorcing father and getting married with Akihito-san. At that time, my mother was a very successful woman. I didn't know this at the time, but she was drafted by a headhunter to work at a bigger company where she was promoted to a higher and more responsible position, one where she could bring out the most of her talent. Of course, the position wasn't the only thing she gained. Considering my father's low salary, my mother was earning enough money to support a family of 3 and still have some left over. I'd kind of realized it from the way she spent money. The greater position she achieved, the more she spent time with people at her level. All of them were bright and talented. Compared to them, my father might have looked unattractive to her. I liked Uncle Akihito, but I liked him as one of my mother's friends, not in the same way I liked my father. I liked my father and mother equally, so it was very shocking to me that my mother wanted to divorce him. I felt as if the ground below me was beginning to crack. That expression, I realized, actually fit my situation very well. I had to choose which side of the cracked ground I stood on. My mother told me to live with her at her new house. Her new house meant the house Uncle Akihito lived in. I thought a house was a sanctuary for a family. I believed that a house was a holy place where strangers couldn't easily enter. That was why I couldn't believe her. How could she let a stranger invade such a holy place so easily? Why do you hate my father? My mother looked down and didn't answer. I asked her another question. Why can't you stay with my father? I think that was the hardest and most heartbreaking of all the questions for my mother to answer. In short, my mother had cheated on him. She loved another man who was more attractive than my father. It was just that and nothing more. I knew more than anybody that it wasn't my father's fault. First of all, he decided to move from Hinabizawa to support my mother as much as he could. For him, nothing good had come from that. Actually, I think he had a very tough time since we moved to Ibaraki. But he volunteered to be her support and tried very hard to do that. I thought my mother appreciated his support. So, I took her decision as a betrayal. I told her that I disagreed with everything, including their divorce. I said that very loudly and made everybody in the store jump. Sure, continue relationship with Uncle Akihito, but don't divorce my father. I feel bad for him. I feel terrible for him. He has been doing nothing but support you patiently this whole time. How could you do such a cruel thing to him? I screamed as loud as I could. Then my mother answered, It's too late. Why? You haven't talked with my father about this, have you? It's not too late. I'm pregnant.
Brug.
I don't know whether my mother actually told him about the divorce in person. A middle-aged woman who called herself a lawyer came to the house several times to talk to my father on my mother's behalf. She sometimes called him, too. My father begged the lawyer to let him speak directly to my mother many times, but it never happened. I could tell by the way they talked that he had no clue when my mother told him I could tell by the way they talked that he had no clue when my mother told him she wanted a divorce. Well, again, I'm not even sure if she told him in person. The lawyer told him not to meet my mother, not to call her at work, and many other things, too. To top it all off, she told him not to see my mother ever again. He wanted to talk to her. He called some of the mutual friends, but he only found out the name of the guy she was having an affair with and nothing more. He asked me,
Oh shit! I forgot I'm in this game.
Hey, you're here.
Yeah. Howdy, folks. Do you know the guy?
I told him I do. I also told him I was a very funny guy and had given me candy many times. I'll never forget how he looked when I told him that. He hit me for the first time. He hit me so hard that his handprint stayed on my cheek for a while. Then it fell on the floor and cried loudly. And I started to cry too. I didn't cry because he hit me. Uncle Akihito had been kind to me, so I liked him and talked to him out of courtesy. No, that wasn't it. Girls had to be kind to everybody. That's what I thought. But I was wrong. I learned in this world there are many people you should be nice to, and enemies you shouldn't be nice to. The enemies are the ones who will destroy my life with their very existence. Whether they mean harm to me or not doesn't matter. They're like weeds growing in a flower bed. Dandelions are innocent, but they take all the nutrition They take all the nutrition from the tulips from the soil. That's why we have to pull them out. The dandelions did nothing wrong, but they're the enemy.
Keiichi did nothing wrong, Pepe Hands.
Enemies are bad people. That guy was a bad person. I shouldn't have accepted him. I should have rejected him with everything I had. So by doing so, I might have been able to disrupt their relationship. By doing so, I might have been able to make my mother feel like their relationship was not going to work. If I tried to do so, my parents wouldn't have had to break up. My father and I cried together, but we cried for different reasons. He must have cried because it happened so fast and didn't make any sense to him. I cried because I regretted I let it happen when I had the chance to prevent it. My father stroked my cheek and opened his mouth to apologize, but he couldn't speak and just cried with me. One day, the lawyers let me see my mother. My mother asked me to live with her at her house again. I didn't know what to say, so I just kept looking down and listened to her apologies. My father knew that I was going to see my mother on that day, so he handed me a letter and told me to give it to her. I don't know what he wrote in that letter, but for some reason I was able to imagine what kind of things he wrote when I felt it through the envelope. After all, the letter inside the letter inside the envelope had a rough surface. He must have been crying while writing the letter, and his tears made the letter all wrinkled when it dried. My mother took the letter from me, told me that she'd read it later, and was about to put it in her bag. I stopped her and told her to read it there. I wanted to see how she was going to take the last words that my father had left to her. But my mother didn't read it. She told me she wanted to read it alone later, and she put it in her bag. That time I realized, no, it was more than that. I just say, I knew, because it was so obvious. I knew my mother was lying. She had no intention of reading my father's letter. She was going to throw it away after I was gone, but she lied just because she wanted to seem like a nice person in front of me. It's like curling her eyebrows and lips told me that more clearly than anything else. At that moment, I finally knew something else. The guy she was having an affair with wasn't the only bad person. My mother was also a bad person. Since that moment, the existence of my mother disappeared from my world like dry ice evaporated. I didn't have to hesitate about with whom to live with. I don't want to go to your house. The Ryugu house is my home. I don't want to see you anymore. Please don't even call me. But Rena, if you live with your father, you won't have... At that moment, I hated my name for the first time in my life. Please, don't call me Rena ever again. I have to go now. Goodbye. Those were my last words to my mother. No, to the woman who used to be my mother. After that, I spent many days without feeling anything. I didn't know if the days were long or short. I didn't know which season I was living in. It was supposed to be nothing out of the ordinary, not having my mother around. But every time my father saw things that reminded him of her, like a toothbrush, her teacup, or her favorite books, he shed tears which left me frustrated. That's why I decided to completely remove her belongings from the house. I roughly threw her things into a black trash bag, and I started to do so frantically. By the time I knocked down her wardrobe and threw her music box hard on the floor and broke a mirror, My mind was already not working properly. When I try to remember what happened after that, I feel disorientated. That's because the pills the doctor gave me back then made me feel disorientated and lethargic every time I took them. It seems that the dullness hit me especially hard, since every time I try to remember that time, it makes me feel disorientated and lethargic, just like the pills made me feel.
No, never mind. That's stupid. Never mind.
Yeah? What's that?
No. That's literally impossible. I was gonna ask if the kid she beat the shit out of was her mom's new kid, but I was like, that does not line up at all. I was like, that does not line up at fucking all. So I stopped.
I had destroyed everything that smelled like my mother, but the thing I wanted to destroy the most might have been myself. And after I threw all of her belongings away, I still couldn't stop feeling regret, and I decided to blame myself in the end. Maybe I was thinking that I wanted to do damage to her reputation and successful life by destroying her daughter, destroying myself. When I was about to reach that very last resolution, Oyashiro-sama came to me. Oyashiro-sama told me to go back to Hinamizawa. Yes, all this was because of his curse. Oyashiro-sama brought a curse upon the Ryugu family because we broke his rule and abandoned Hinamizawa. After I figured that out, everything started to make sense to me. All the crazy things that happened after my mother was gone. The curse of Oyashiro-sama did all that to us. It's Oyashiro-sama's voice that was telling us to come back to Hinamizawa. That's right. We should have stayed in Hinamizawa. Everything went crazy when we moved. Because we moved. We had to go back to Hinamizawa. I started to feel disorientated again, and a dull pain ran through my head. It might be a scream from within me telling me not to push myself too hard or to remember any further. The house where we used to live in Hinamizawa was still there. My grandma already passed away, and the house was the only property that she left for us. I remember that I used to live in Hinamizawa, but all I remember was that it was a village that I used to live in until right before I went to elementary school. I remember the atmosphere of the village too, but that was all I remembered. I forgot the streets and even the names of close friends I used to play with. The neighbors knew that the son of the deceased woman had come back divorced. But they didn't know us, and we didn't know them.
Got you. Okay. I was like, the son of the deceased woman? And I was like, oh yeah, her fucking grandmother.
So, it was almost like we moved to a new place. However, as far as I was concerned, it was still my hometown that I had come back to. At first, everything was inconvenient compared to life in Ibaraki, and it was hard for both of us to adjust, but we renovated the old house, and it was only me and my father. Life here seemed to make my father forget his pain from the divorce. Mi-chan was very kind to me, and I started to get used to my new life too. I did everything around the house, and we gradually went back to a time when we used to live happily. Anybody can live a happy life. People sometimes say that some people are born to be unhappy. But I believe that's just an excuse for people who don't even want to try. I won't give in to fate. I'll never give up trying to recapture the happy times that I've lost. I'm gonna become happy to the point where I don't even feel the happiness anymore. I'm not gonna cry anymore. I'll never cry again. I used up all of my tears on that night my father hit me. The curse of Oyashiro-sama is over because we came back to Hinamizawa, so I'm gonna have a happy life from now on. All of a sudden, big raindrops hit the roof of the car, and I recovered my senses. It was still raining hard. It had already gotten dark outside. The shadows, the table lamp created very dark, and it looked like there was nothing else around me. If I turned off this light, would everything in this world disappear? I turned off the light. Darkness swallowed me, but the cold air and the summer rain didn't change a bit, and that made me realize I was still in his world. The curse of Oyashiro-sama. The curse of Oyashiro-sama do those crazy things to my family? Or did I convince myself it did as an excuse for myself, because I didn't want to feel guilty about the divorce? Sometimes I'm not sure. Since that time, Oyashiro-sama hasn't come to me. Sometimes I feel like it was a delusion I created because I was mentally ill, but he did come at that time. I'm sure about that. Am I right, Oyashiro-sama? I was unhappy after I left in Yamazawa, but I came back and I'm happy now. But where am I supposed to go now that I'm unhappy in Hinamizawa? Where? Stop it, Rena. Don't think that you're unhappy. I am happy. I will be happy. I can definitely be happy. Suddenly, I felt that if this darkness swallowed me, I'd never be able to be happy again. I found the switch of the table lamp and turned it back on. When I looked at the clock, it was already past 11 p.m. I had to go home. I wouldn't have time to prepare for my lunch tomorrow. At least I have to set the timer on the rice cooker. It didn't look like the rain was going to stop anytime soon. Looked out the window to see the rain, but I could only see my reflection. I talked to the reflection in the window. I'm so glad my father's happy. He'd been acting like he was dead for a long time. That smile on his face is a good sign he's regaining his former happy life. He became miserable because of me. That's why I don't mind doing things for him until he regains his smile and we become truly happy. When I stay here alone for a while, it gives him some time to be alone with her. Plus, I don't have to fake a smile. But then, my reflection in the window tells me, Rina, you're such a good girl. You're kind to everybody and love them equally. You can make anybody like you. But did you forget something? In this world, there are people you should be kind to. And enemies that you have to reject with all you got. I thought you learned that lesson. No, don't listen to her. My reflection is always mean. She always says mean things and makes fun of my worries. But she always tells me things that I can't say myself. Let's go home, Rena. To your home. Forget about the mean Rena in the mirror. I was a bit hungry by then. After all the desserts I ate, I still got hungry. I almost forgot. Rina-san bought me a shortcake. I've never had a shortcake from Angel Mort, but I bet it'll taste good. I would have to give my thanks to Rina-san the next time I see her. Rina-san speaks in a way that makes it very clear how she grew up, but I'm sure she's a good person. Smiley.
Smiley.
That's because she's good to my father. I did everything I could to make my father smile, but I failed. On the other hand, Rina-san can put a big smile on his face so easily. I have to thank Rina-san. I have to thank her for cheering up my father, but I don't know why. I just don't like her perfume. Phew! My first big jackpot.
I was gonna say, how's it feel to be me? How's it feel to be what I've been doing the last, 70 hours we've played this fucking game?
Hey, new tips.
Oh, there's so much happening.
It's my warm up time. Don't call me Rena.
Oh, there's so much happening. I'm so invested. I want to read the tits and then talk.
Alright, let's read the
Oh
tips.
my god, there's so much happening.
Oh, it's purple.
Burple.
My summer picture diary. Wait, you think this is Rena?
No, it's Keiichi.
Because it's white text?
I'm kidding.
It's mine.
Of course,
it's mine
it's
anyway.
fucking Rena.
Today, I went to the swimming pool with my mom. Uncle Hekihito came with us too.
Yeah, see, it is Keiichi.
I don't like him because he's sometimes mean to me, but he's very kind and a funny old man. He told me to call him Daddy for that day because he's gonna play with me at the pool like he was my daddy. My mom called him Daddy, so I did too. Uncle Hekihito looked very happy and gave me a lot of money. My mom looked very happy and made me happy too, and it made me happy too. I wanted to play with him again. I hope my dad can come with us next time. All these new tracks. We've gotten 3 new tracks.
It's fucking all gas, dude.
Rainy days are on their way.
This is Rika.
Okay, I have to leave Rena.
Yeah, this is Rika. I'm like,
Rena.
we're talking about rain. It's Rika.
Okay. KG. I open the window, place my cushion nearby, and prepare to enjoy the weather. But she comes over and disrupts my peaceful evening. She always ruins my time of solitude.
Not Rat. This is her mom. Or is this Rat?
You were pleased. Oh, that's right. You ate tons of your favorite sweets today. This girl loves sweets more than anything. Fuck, that was Rena. This girl loves sweets more than anything. I like them too, but I can't eat them like she does. It'd give me heartburn, and if I ate the amount I ate today.
The amount, yeah.
She ate today. She seemed to be very happy, so I'll leave her alone for a while. I've been making my favorite hot and salty food for the past few days, so she must be quite pleased today. It was a very fun day for me too. I just wanted to enjoy the memory of the excitement I felt today by sitting here quietly, enjoying the sunset. But when I looked up at the sky, I saw some thick clouds forming there. The wind was a bit cooler than usual. It might start raining soon. People say that when deep-sea animals come up to the shallows, it's a sign of a big earthquake or a tsunami. We saw a very rare fish that dwells in the deep water than the shallows today. Just as the ancient stories of sea monsters say, people hate deep-sea animals and tend to interpret them as omens of a disaster. It didn't matter that they showed up alive or dead. I said something very interesting just now. Even if they showed up alive or dead, it was an omen of disaster. Oh, it might start raining soon. Yeah, I know. You don't have to tell me. I'll get the laundry. I grabbed my basket and went outside to take the laundry in. The clouds are getting darker. I normally like rain, but I didn't think I'd enjoy it today. Who's she talking to?
Rika's two people? That's Rika, right?
Yeah.
Is the There we go.
I gotta get the rain.
Yeah. I'm like, no offense, I don't particularly.
And the Oyashiro-sama music.
Yeah, I'm like, I don't particularly enjoy the.
You don't like the music box? You?
I know.
You don't like music box version?
No, I don't particularly like it.
That's cringe. That's omega cringe.
I'm sorry.
That is so omega
I'd rather
cringe.
listen to this. This is heat. Okay. First things first. Me and my homies hate Rena's mom.
Uh-huh, exactly.
I hope she explodes.
Fuck that hoe.
Fuck that hoe. Second thing second. Me and my homies appreciate Rena's dad and feel bad for him. But also, like, you didn't have to slap your kid, man. I get it.
Listen, it was a hard time. He's not done it since.
He faltered.
He faltered.
But it doesn't seem like he always falters. It seems like he faltered one time and then didn't falter again.
Mm-hmm.
Third, I can't believe her dad is dating a prostitute. But what's up with the perfume thing? We keep talking about the perfume.
Mm-hmm.
We keep mentioning her perfume. We keep mentioning how her perfume... that Ren is allergic to it.
Well, she doesn't like her perfume.
She doesn't like her perfume, but it makes her sneeze.
Mm-hmm.
So she's allergic to it. Right?
Sure.
But what is her fucking perfume? Is it the same perfume her mom used to wear?
Yes. No. I think, so, you could probably think of a perfume as like an aura, right?
Yeah, okay, yeah. If we want to talk about it, like, metaphorically, right?
Yeah, so I think that's what Ryukishi's like going for with the perfume thing.
Okay, yeah.
It feels like a metaphor.
She's getting vibe checked. If we want to talk about it like a vibe check, yeah, I don't like her perfume either.
Mm-hmm.
I don't trust her. I don't like her and I don't trust her. She seems like she is with Rena's dad for a reason.
Yeah.
But I don't know what that reason is.
Yeah.
Is it to have a home? Is it for inheritance? Is it to get close to Rena? What's the deal? She hasn't...
They did divorce, and he was the poorer one, and he has the kid.
Yeah.
So, there's with a
Is it an
wealthy
alter
life.
ego
Alter ego.
that her mom has? You know?
Mm-hmm.
Her mom puts on the pink wig with the tramp stamp tattoo and shows up to hang out with her daughter. Yeah, I want to know who the girl is.
Yeah.
Why is she there?
Yeah.
What does she gain from this? Because she's there because she's gaining something. It's Takana.
It's time. Rena is Rena. She may have a stage name, but she's Rena.
Could you imagine if it was Takana? Could you
It'd be
fucking
pretty fucking
imagine
funny.
if the reveal is that Rena is... Oh my god, it's Tomatake. Yeah, I'm sure, as you said, I'm sure it's like a stage name or whatever, right?
Oh yeah, like hosted.
It's a host club name. You don't
I don't
use
know
your
if I've
legal
read this,
name.
I don't know if I've read this here, but in this novel or like in some other like thing, Japanese thing, but like yeah, hostesses usually have like stage names and shit.
Yeah. Well, I played the second chapter of Yakuza 0. You run a...
Yeah, I gotcha.
It starts with a B.
Um,
It's not a brothel.
no, it's a hostess club.
I can't remember it. Point is, I'm wondering what she's getting out of this. That's what I want to know. Also, do we ever talk about Rena's mom again? Like, I assume the dude that she cheated with is important because we don't have her name, but we have his name. So I'm assuming there's relevance with him at some point because we have his name.
They're relevant because we're learning about Rena.
Yeah,
This
but we
is-
don't even know Rena's mom's name
right
or her dad's name.
hmm
But we know this guy's name,
right.
which is weird.
Mm-hmm.
But I guess it makes sense from a writing perspective because she's gonna call him something, probably his name, etc., etc. I get it. But it's very interesting. Rena's reflection is always mean.
We also don't. Yeah, true. We also don't know Keiichi's mom and dad's name, so
Yeah, that is true.
they're
I
just
guess-
Mayabara's.
Yeah,
So
I guess
they would just be Ryugu's.
I'm thinking about
What-
it so
what-
much.
What happened?
Yeah, it's crying emoji. I think I'm thinking about it so much because we know
Hey.
Mion's, but that's because it's like relevant. Her mom has a sprite.
And she's literally like the leader of the fucking village.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, we've got divorced dad, no job, dating a prostitute,
Yeah.
and
Jobber.
a Mayabara famous artist. We don't know what his art is except
Porn.
Porn.
Famous porn artist.
Famous porn artist. Famous mangaka.
Etchy drawer.
Keeps the bloomers on.
Yeah. So,
Socks stay on at all times.
what's the deal with her reflection?
Well, we know that she has two names, right?
Yeah. Well, see, shout out to Connor and Onikakushi calling her schizophrenic and saying that she has multiple personality disorder.
Do you think it's?
And he turned out to be right. She
Do you
clearly
think
has...
it's multiple personality or
No, it's some sort of stress-based
like
personality disorder.
or like a compartmentalization?
Yeah, sure. Yeah. But it is some sort of like stress-induced personality disorder, right?
Right.
No, it's interesting because I'm thinking about when her eyes do the thing in Onikakushi, that is probably our Rena, which is reverse
The
reflection Rena.
mean Rena.
Yeah. R Rena. Or Rihanna.
Rena.
Yeah, I'm gonna call her Rena. Reina's the bitch, Rena is the cool one. That's probably Rena.
Then where does Mion get the eyes from?
That's a good question. My other question is it Mion in this chapter? But that's what I'm leaning towards with Rena specifically, because I'm sure everyone gets the eyes for different reasons, right? Sadako never got the eyes, right?
Yeah, we've never seen Sadako have the eyes, but like
And we know
did see her
Rika...
push Keiichi off of a bridge.
Yeah. But that's different. Sadako's always evil. But we have like Gorp Rika.
Who's Rika talking to?
That's what I'm wondering. It sounds like Rika's talking to herself. Or there's two Rikas,
Right.
right? If you want to talk about who has multiple personalities, it's Rika. Because obviously she's talking about... It's framed in a way of there was somebody waiting at the Furude Shrine, and then Rika came back and interrupted whoever's at the Furude Shrine. That's how it's framed.
Yeah.
It's framed in a way because she talks about, oh, if I would have eaten all the sweets that she ate today, I would have had heartburn.
Yeah.
You know?
I'm just
Is
gonna
she
look through
talking...
it. Keep talking. I'm just looking through it. I'm paging through it.
Is she talking to the kid? We're gonna say something
That
weird.
was jumping on the floorboards?
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
Really?
Yes, that's unironically what I was about to say. That's seriously where I was going. I was gonna say it sounds like she's talking to the kid that jumps on the floorboards.
Oh, you got it back. Well, she came over to disrupt my peace of the evening. So...
Yeah. So the dialogue, I guess.
She always ruins my time of solitude.
Yeah. So you can interpret it one of two ways, right? This is Rika talking to Sadako. Or Rika talking to other Rika. Right? Because if you click through this, it was a very fun day for me too. Oh, the excitement I felt today by sitting here quietly enjoying the sunset. Okay. I fucking read that without the comma at first. It's probably the realistic thing is Rika to Sadako here.
Yeah.
That's like the realistic interpretation, right?
What's this, deep sea animal, Omen of disaster? So...
The great Hinamizawa gas disaster, you know?
She's talking about, like, when a fish surfaces in the shallows, whether it's alive or dead.
It's an omen of disaster, yeah. Which can be
Interesting,
interpreted...
Interesting, I'm making a connection here that I think is fairly kooky and silly and funny.
As I said, great Hinamizawa disaster.
Well,
moment.
I'm thinking about what's
You're not thinking literally.
like
you're
anything
thinking
that's gone into the
metaphorically.
swamp has never come up, right?
Yeah.
But where have we like seen something float up dead before?
Yeah, we have.
Yeah, alive or dead.
Takano? Yeah. No, I'm thinking about the body they pulled up in Okinomiya.
Yeah. That's
God damn it,
interesting
I was
because
gonna go
like
back
you
through
were
that.
you were making the connection between that body and Rena, right?
Yeah.
And so
Well, the thing I find interesting in this chapter as well is the yeah, I know, I'll go get the laundry, and then she says, so I got up and got the basket and went and got the laundry. So that's what makes me, like, I don't know.
only one person seemed to be talking there.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. So you can take it in like a literal sense of, oh, maybe it's Rika talking to Sadako, but I'm taking it in the sense of it's Rika talking to her other personality. But yeah, no, I made the connection of the body and the water they dredged up, and Rena? Rena.
There's Rena.
Rena versus Rena. That's what it is.
Rena.
Rena, yeah. Yeah, no, I made that connection with Rena.
Yeah. Interesting how we saw it come up dead once. We saw the body come up dead. Now we're seeing the fish come through the shallows alive this time.
Yeah.
Very cool little analogy there.
It is. And it's
an omen of disaster. So are we thinking so and that we've got a lot of split personalities here. You think it's split personalities because we got Rika, we've got Rena now, or Rena, we've got Rika now, and
Yep. That marks
what
two.
else?
Keiichi.
We've got a lot of split personalities here. This seems
Shion. Mion.
feel like that's a bit too many split personalities for it to be split personalities.
Well, duh, right? Yeah. When it affects every character, it's not.
Nearly every character. It's a bit. Maybe that's not right.
It goes from the exception to the rule.
Right.
If I were to lump it, I would say Rika split personality moment. Rena stress and trauma created like segregation of one part of her like feelings, if that makes sense.
Sure.
Because with Rena, there's a lot of focus on you have to be happy, you have to be happy, you have to be happy. It doesn't matter if you're not. The most interesting part in the Rena dialogue is I'm not happy in Hinamizawa. That is the most interesting part to me in the monologue. Is that
she had this whole moment with Oyashiro-sama saying she thinks that everything happened because she left Hinamizawa.
Yep, and got cursed.
And got cursed by Oyashiro-sama. Oyashiro-sama came to her while she was on pills.
Yep.
And right before she destroyed
Yep.
Her mother's daughter.
Mm-hmm.
Before she fucking killed herself.
Yeah.
And said, "Oh, you need to go back to Hinamizawa." That's very interesting, huh?
It's very interesting. You know, if you want to go a step further, you could interpret Oyashiro-sama as, like, Rena.
Yeah.
Or sorry, as Rena.
As the happy Rena.
Yeah, and then they
Interesting.
flip. And then Rena is in Hinamizawa and is like, fuck, man. Happy-go-lucky Lamau. And then Rena is like, dude, you hate it here. You're literally just here to make your dad feel better because
But
you
it's
feel like
not-
it's your fault for the divorce.
It's not like she's a different person.
No.
Like, split personality kind of does make you a different person, right?
Yeah.
It gives you different memories. Some you don't really remember the split personality stuff.
No, I know that
And
there's...
Rena doesn't seem to be really missing any memories. She
No.
just, when she was on the pills,
Is when it was weird.
When she thinks back to when she was on the pills, it's lethargic and.
Yeah, it's when it was weird.
Mhm.
No, there's a name for what I want it to actually be called, but I can't think of the name.
Yeah.
No, it is interesting with her being on the pills, kind of how she doesn't remember anything and like doesn't really did all of her goofy aha shit, right?
What do you think triggered Oyashiro-sama coming to her, other than like, I'm gonna kill myself? Like, she was thinking that, but. Why Oyashiro-sama? Why did Oyashiro-sama come to her?
She lived in Hinamizawa before, right?
She.
So then she would have heard stories of Oyashiro-sama and the rules of the village and all that.
Remember back with Shion, I
Yep.
mean, she was, she's about the same age as, she's younger than me on Shion.
Yeah.
So when Shion told us last game about all the stories the kids would tell each other about
Yep.
and make up the rules, and
Yep.
if you left Hinamizawa, you would, what does leaving Hinamizawa mean? And,
Yeah.
well, she used to live in Okunomiya, but grew up in her grandmother's house.
In Hinamizawa, yep.
Their parents are from, her parents are from Okunomiya.
Yeah.
Grew up in Hinamizawa.
Yeah. Well, that's like with Rena. But Rena moved out of Okinomiya.
No, Ibaraki.
Yeah. Which I assume is not in...
Okunomiya, no.
Yeah, and it's not in the Hinamizawa cradle, basically.
No. It's somewhere else.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's a real place. It might be a real place.
I have to think more on it.
Ibaraki Prefecture. Ibaraki Town.
But... it's getting very interesting. I definitely think the solution to this arc is a lot more if, like, Keiichi genuinely went fucking batshit crazy for some reason. And then Rena perceives him as an enemy.
If, for, like, the Keiichi genuinely went crazy for some reason, man, And I just had the question formulated. The question is the reason KG went crazy, right?
Yeah.
If
Well,
he's-
hey,
if he
I
did
would
go
lean into, as of right now, I would lean into, like, you know, the reason Shion believes in Oyashiro-sama is, like, okay, he hears about all the crazy shit from Toмотake, and hears about all the shit from Oishi, and starts recognizing that he lines up with the Satoshi case, and they won't tell him what happened to Satoshi, they just keep saying that he transferred, which is what happened to Satoshi, but he doesn't know that's what happened to Satoshi. As in, like, Rena and Mion genuinely don't know what happened to Satoshi.
Right.
So everyone just says he transferred. Because they genuinely do not know what happened to Satoshi. You know, I know we were talking about Takano as the culprit, but maybe it is Coach.
Yeah.
Because
What made you...
the connection with Satoshi.
Yeah. You think he would do that to Satoshi? Do something to Satoshi?
That's where I'm like...
Do you think his connection to Satoshi makes him the culprit? Do you think
His connection...
Do you think he has a connection to Satoshi's disappearance?
That's what I was leaning...
And do you think that if he does have a connection to that disappearance, does that make him a culprit?
Yeah. I feel like... Because Satoshi literally just vanished. Nobody knows what the fuck happened to him. The Sonozakis don't know what happened to him. Rena doesn't know what happened to him. Shion, Mion. Nobody knows what the fuck happened to Satoshi.
And he was a suspect of murder, and then somebody else confessed to doing the murder
Yep.
and knew all the details of the case, and then died in jail
Yeah.
on a spork.
I think it's something to think about. I don't know if I have anything to, like, jump conclusions on that. I'll still be rolling with Takano right now. I don't know if I have anything to jump conclusions on Irie, but I definitely think the big two are Irie Takano.
Gotcha.
I feel like, and I know she's been here a while, but I feel like Rika-chan is an omen of disaster.
You think she's the Omen?
She's been there for a while, which means that she can't be, right? But it really feels that way sometimes.
Damn, she went back in time just to tell Akasaka to help her, and all that he needed to do was kill her right
Just
then
kill her
and there.
right then and there, and it would have been fine, yeah. Alive or dead, remember? No, I still can't figure out how Rika's involved.
Rika's just trying to live, man.
I know, but she's looping, and it's weird. And people keep
And
killing
she's
her.
talking to somebody.
Somebody. Maybe herself. Maybe somebody else. She's talking to Akasaka.
True.
Thoughts? Think she talks to dead
What she
people?
was saying? She.
Huh?
She was saying she. Do you think she's talking to Oyashiro-sama?
She's talking to Mio. Takano.
Yeah, talking.
She's talking to Oyashiro-sama. That'd be funny.
Yeah.
I would like that turnout. Oyashiro-sama, the girl boss guardian of fucking Hinamizawa. This chapter's heating up.
Having a good time.
I like this
All right. I guess we'll end it there.
Yeah.
We'll continue next time.
Yes, sir.
My mouse is
I
not
love
over
that.